type of structure. They wanted to implement this, wiki across the PUC pretty much right away. They wanted to really have it as part of various sections, departments within the PUC rather quickly. They provided training, and did you have outside people come in and train? Yeah, and they had outside people come in to train their staff on how to use the wiki, and they collaborated with other agencies such as East Bay Mud, and we had several meetings together to kind of talk about what we were doing, and they learned from us and we learned from them. Their software, like I say, it's easy to modify and it's user friendly, and they have created trees within different sections, like their health and safety section or operations section, and they have implemented that in all parts of their organization. For example, they have the wiki in the water supply department, the water quality, wastewater, health and safety, planning, operations, and engineering. So their wiki is really an intricate part of their organization. This is a picture of their dashboard, which is what you would first screen you come up to when you go into My Toolbox. And from this dashboard, you can go to various parts of the PUC organization. The previous screen showed health and safety, the water supply, engineering, wastewater. So you go into the dashboard, and from this dashboard, you can go to various locations. East Bay Mud had a very different implementation strategy. We really wanted to just start in one section. And, like the song says, if you can make it in New York, you can make it anywhere. Well, we figured if you can make it in operations, you can make it anywhere. So we just started in operations, and we're really primarily just still in operations. Engineering is starting to look at it now, but right now it's just in the water treatment section. And we wanted to have something that we could do just on our own. We did not want any IT support. We wanted to have it so our own staff was managing the wiki. So it's a self-monitoring, self-editing software. And it really is just like Wikipedia. If an operator writes an SOP and they put that SOP into the wiki, if anybody makes a change, that operator will get a message and say, hey, somebody changed your SOP. So it's really the operator's responsibility to go back in and look to see what that change is and decide whether they like that change or don't like that change, which is very similar to Wikipedia. And we also we use that a lot for training, because we have operators that have been there for 30-some years, and we have operators that have been there for a few months or maybe a year. Every operator is responsible for writing SOPs. So we have the operators that have been here 30 years writing SOPs, but we also have operators that have only been there for a short period of time writing SOPs. And they swap SOPs. So the trainee has to read the operator who's been working there 30 years, and the operator who's been working there 30 years has to read the trainee's SOP. And it's a really good way of knowledge management, knowledge capture, and also they take ownership because their name is on that SOP. So when that SOP goes on that website, which is accessible to over 1,800 employees, they've taken pride in it, and I think it's a really good way of capturing data and also having it easy to find and also capturing the process. We have 5 water treatment plants, and at each water treatment plant there's typically one water treatment operator that's really good with computers. So they're the wiki expert at the water treatment plant, and they're the ones that manage the wiki. And we really try to emphasize on incorporating into the work process. So we wanted to have it so if an operator needs to find a valve, and they have difficulty finding that valve, and they finally, after a week, find that valve. Well, that's something that would go into the wiki. So the next time they need to find that valve, they know, what? I know where I can find that information. I can go to the wiki, and I can find it in 5 minutes instead of 5 days. So I think it's really important for the staff to really buy into the usefulness of a knowledge management system in order for it to be successful, and not just say, okay, everybody has to put stuff in the wiki and I want to see 10 pieces of data once a week in the wiki. And this is the faceplate for the East Bay Mud Wiki, and there's quick links to other documents, like we have a document system, we have libraries, we have water quality databases, we have our LIMS system from the laboratory, we can go to other departments where they're, like I say, they're just starting to develop their own wiki. So from this faceplate, you can get just a whole bunch of information. So it's a really great way of not only storing data, but going to other departments like the laboratory if you want to find out what your manganese results were for your plant.
How does the rank and file take into this? The operator can't.
Well, it's kind of like what Jim said earlier about the ISO. Initially, it was kind of a slow adaptation to liking the wiki. We've had the wiki about a year, and I go to the plants once a week, and I have meetings with my staff once a month. And initially, as every time something came up, I would say, put it in the wiki, put it in the wiki. And you'd see the eyes kind of roll back. But I've noticed in the last about 2 months, 3 months, where something comes up, and they'll tell, we'll be kind of talking about it and doing lessons learned, and now they say to me, yeah, I know, we put it in the wiki. So they've learned the advantages of storing data that's going to be useful to them in the future. So it took about 8 or 9 months, but they now automatically put things in the wiki, and then even like we just got a new permit from the water board. Without even asking, they just put it on the wiki, because they said, yeah, if we have a flood or something and we're discharging to the creek, I know where I can go right away and find that permit. For implementation costs for East Bay Mine, it was about $3,000, and that may be a little bit high because the wiki was free. The faceplate took about an hour to put together. We had a 4-hour training session on how to use the rich text editor, and then it's just periodically we have the operators putting things into the wiki. For San Francisco, it was about $50,000. I think it was $10,000 for training, or $40,000 for training, something like that. 10,000.
Probably the main thing I would point out is that what you pay the consultant, what you're looking at here is some consulting costs we had because we customized the front end of the software to make it more user-friendly so that it wouldn't take people who were so adept at computers to use it. And then we had a needs assessment associated with figuring out what would be the best way to customize it, to make it useful to people. So we had that needs assessment and the website design and then a little bit of training. But what I would emphasize about this is that your true cost is your internal cost. So it's the cost of all your staff thinking about how they're going to organize the information, putting the information on and so forth. So I feel, while this is accurate in terms of what it portrays, I don't want to divert attention from the true cost of actually moving forward with changing how you're managing your knowledge.
Right. I mean, we don't have a wiki job number, so that every time somebody puts something in the wiki, they report how many hours they run the wiki. So, like Cheryl said, it's not a completely accurate for every hour. However, I think for East Bay Mud's perspective, because it's part of the work process, it's just now what they do as part of their day.